Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everybody. Today, we're going to look at something that might sound a bit academic, but stick with me because it's really going to be valuable, I promise. We're going to do a deep dive into vocabulary and specifically how using more vibrant, precise language can elevate your communication.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be fun. We're going to look at an example answer from the IELTS speaking test, focusing on hobbies.
I know. It sounds kind of dry, right? Like vocabulary drills and IELTS prep. But trust me, there are some really fascinating insights to be found here. We'll uncover some surprisingly useful nuggets, I guarantee it.
For sure. And it's not just about passing a test, right? This stuff is relevant for anyone who wants to become a more engaging and effective communicator.
Totally. So let's start with the original IELTS answer. The question is, what do you like to do in your free time? And the answer is, I like to dance because it makes me feel good. It's nice to do, keeps the body moving, and there are so many different ways to dance.
Okay, so that's a pretty standard answer, right? It's clear, it's grammatically correct, but it's kind of lacking a certain spark.
Yeah, it gets the point across, but we're aiming for exceptional, not just acceptable.
Exactly. And that's where vocabulary comes in. With a few strategic upgrades, we can transform this answer into something truly memorable.
Okay, I'm all ears. So where do we start?
Well, I'm immediately drawn to these phrases. I like to dance, makes me feel good, and so many ways to dance. Each of these presents an opportunity to showcase a wider range of vocabulary.
I see what you mean. Like, I like to dance is pretty basic.
Right. It's functional, but it lacks that extra oomph to really grab the listener's attention. Instead of just stating a preference, how about conveying a deeper sense of enjoyment?
Okay, I like that. So how would you upgrade that?
Well, we could replace I like to dance with something like, she enjoys dancing, or she finds dancing pleasurable, still natural and conversational, but with a touch more sophistication.
I see. It definitely adds a layer of nuance. What about like, she savors dancing or she adores dancing? Do those work?
While those options certainly convey passion, they might be a bit too strong for describing a casual hobby.
Okay, I get it. Like, it might come across as a bit over the top. Especially in the context of an IELTS interview, you want to sound genuine and relatable, not like you're trying too hard.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot between sounding natural and demonstrating a wider vocabulary range.
All right, so we've got enjoys and finds pleasurable as good alternatives to I like to dance. What about the next phrase? Makes me feel good.
Yeah, another one that's a bit too general. How can we make the listener actually feel the positive effects of dancing?
I see what you mean. It's kind of like telling someone a story without any descriptive details.
Exactly. So instead of just good, which is very vague, we could say it makes her feel energetic or it makes her feel vigorous.
Oh, I like those. You can almost feel the energy and movement just from those words. It's amazing how a single word can make such a difference.
Right. And this is why vocabulary is so crucial, especially for the IELTS. The examiners are looking for evidence that you can use a range of vocabulary accurately and appropriately.
It's like showing them you have a well-stocked toolbox of words and you know how to use each one effectively.
Exactly. And it's not just about the IELTS. Choosing more precise and interesting words will make you a more effective communicator in any situation.
Totally. All right, one last phrase to upgrade. So many ways to dance. It's accurate, but kind of bland.
Agreed. Let's jazz it up a bit. We could swap ways for styles or methods.
Okay, so there are so many styles of dancing, or there are so many methods of dancing, subtle changes, but they really do elevate the language.
Exactly. They show that you're not just using the most basic vocabulary that comes to mind.
It reminds me of a common mistake I see IELTS test takers make. They get so focused on grammar that they neglect vocabulary.
Yeah, grammar is important, for sure. But don't forget, the examiners are also looking for fluency, which means expressing yourself with precision and nuance.
So it's not just about speaking quickly, it's about choosing the right words to convey your meaning effectively.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, this whole deep dive has been eye-opening. I realize I often fall back on those generic phrases without really considering the power of more precise language.
And that's the beauty of language learning. There's always more to discover.
Absolutely. It's like a never-ending treasure hunt for the perfect word.
Yeah.
So we've seen how even small vocabulary swaps can have a big impact on how you express yourself, especially on the IELTS. But before we wrap up, I have a thought-provoking question for our listeners. What other hobbies or activities could you describe using more vibrant language? Could you say you relish reading or that gardening rejuvenates you? I challenge you to play with your language and see the difference it makes. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See you next time.